Hello everyone, good evening. Welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep. Welcome to this yet another session from the last lab to IIFT series. So, very good evening to all of you. I hope I'm clearly audible and visible to you guys. Can you all please confirm it to me? Is everything fine? All of you can hear me, all of you can see me. Is everything okay, guys? So once again, a very good evening to all. So all of you must be waiting for the IFT admit card to be out. I mean, even I am waiting for that. I almost check it every day whether they have released the admit card or not. I mean, this problem has occurred since the time, I mean, it has been taken by NTA, the National Testing Agency. So because of that, these problems generally occur. I see that this is happening with IFT now. I mean, this was never a problem otherwise before this, but अब होता है ऐसा. I mean, exam is on this Sunday. Today we have Monday, and I mean, admit card is yet not out. People, of course, have to make arrangements for that. They should know about it. So this is probably I would say, a lag that is happening from their side, but it should not be happening. So good evening, Divyashree. Good evening, Satyanshu, Kritika Jain, Khodidas Borad, and Mayank Seni. Very good evening. So to others as well, I am assuming that I am perfectly audible to you guys, right? Audible, visible, no issues there. Everything should be okay. Hi Satyanshu, I am good. How are you? Taking your live session after CAT. I mean, yes, even I have not taken many sessions after CAT actually. So even I have come to this after a very long time, but I'm sure that this is an important session. So good evening, music or good evening. So 7 days strategy. Of course, rather I would say now. Actually, 7 days are not left. Only 5 days would be left. Monday is already gone. The exam is on Sunday. So ultimately, we have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 5 days are there. So, but what exactly can we do in these 5 days? And a little bit of analysis of the exam as well. That's what we are going to discuss in this session. Okay. So, what are the cutoffs and what have been the paper structure? What can you expect this year? All these things we'll be discussing in our today's session. So, good evening, Billion Dollar Lifestyle. Good evening, Ajay Benny. Good evening, AJ. So, let's start with our session without any further delay now. So, शुरू कर देते हैं सीधा सीधा. So, what all do we have with us? Let's start. Okay. Hanji, the first thing first. What is the expected paper pattern? So, as I just told you about this, that whatever has happened in the recent IFTs, I mean, if you talk about IFT 2022-24, and then before that, that is 21-23 or 2022, almost the same kind of paper is expected this year as well in IFT. So, this is the structure that you can see on the screen, which is expected, of course, because this has been the structure for the last 2-3 years. सो 17 को एनमेट भी है मेरा. क्या करूं, कुछ बताइए सत्यांशु. अभी तो मुश्किल उसके बारे में बात करनी. Because of you my quant went very well. That's great, Ajay. Good to hear that. Hi Sai Rebel. And isn't the difficulty level of cat and IFT same? Almost the same you can say. Quant में अगर आप बोलोगे तो हाँ तकरीबन सेम होता है. मतलब उसमें मुझे भी कोई डाउट नहीं है. I mean even in ZAT you can say, I mean difficulty level would be slightly of the same side. लेकिन सब में ना थोड़ा थोड़ा चेंजेस आपको देखने को मिलेगा. I mean when I talk about the ZAT exam, it's more of conceptual in nature. IFT is slightly lengthy. I mean, questions are also slightly lengthy. This has happened in the last few years. So you can expect almost the exam of this year on the same lines. So when I talk about IFT of CAT of 2022, 25 questions are expected this year as well, because as they were in 2022-24 paper too. Right answers, you get 3 marks. Wrong answers, you get -1, 75 marks total. And there is no non-MCQs or TETA type questions in IFT. So this was the structure. Verbal ability, 35 questions of 105 marks. DILR, 30 questions of 90 marks. This is something which is different in IFT with respect to CAT, that you have 20 questions of 30 marks. But the important point is that each question is of 1.5 marks. So ultimately you would see that general awareness is just 10% of the paper. So even if you just clear the cutoff, that should be okay. But actually you maximize your score in the other sections. But among all the other sections, you see that VARC has got the highest weightage. Probably they feel QA and LRDI, they are almost of the same kind. So in a way, 165 is for those people who like QA LRDI. 105 is for those people for VA who like VA and RC. So still it is heavier on that side. But yes, I have seen some people being not very comfortable with DILR but being comfortable with QA and vice versa, though very few, but that happens. But yes, general awareness is something that probably you have to pay attention to. This might be important to you. Okay. Now, let's analyze the previous paper. So, especially I would be talking about IIFT 2020-24, but yes, on some of the slides, we will be discussing the previous year papers as well. So now, when I talk about 2020-24, the paper was same as that of IIFT 2021. As I told you, the paper pattern has exactly been the same. I mean, the number of questions, the marks for each question, the penalty for each question. That way, it was exactly same as IIFT 2021. QA was moderate to difficult. I mean, you can say CAT standard questions. Rather, I saw one question which was actually asked in CAT this year and it had appeared in IIFT last year. Exactly same question, even the figures were same. I'll tell you that question that appeared in slot 2 of CAT in my slot. So I'll be talking about that as well. VARC have been on moderate and GA has been moderate. DI was easier than LR. Now this is something different that has happened in IIFT in the recent years. Otherwise, IIFT was known for a very difficult DI before, right? So this has been happening for a long time, that data interpretation of IIFT, it has been actually very lengthy and very calculative. But when I talk about last year, DI was actually on the slightly easier side with respect to LR. LR was slightly difficult. And when I talk about the paper pattern, as I just told you that this year also the same thing is expected. 25 questions in QA, 35 in VARC, 13 DILR and 20 in general awareness. Here each question is of 3 marks, only here it is 1.5. Negative marking is 1/3 of the positive marks. Of course, here it is minus 0.5, others are 1, and the total marks are equal to 300. What is the net correct for a 99 percentile? So out of 110 questions in those 2 hours, if you get 40 to 42 net correct means let us say you are getting 45 correct and 3 wrong, or 48 correct and let's say 5 wrong or 6 wrong, or let's say you are getting 50 correct and you are getting 6 wrong. So that ways you would be able to reach somewhere around 99 percentile in IIFT. So this has been the structure of IIFT. If I talk about IIFT 2020 to 24, that has happened last year. Okay, the figure which is behind me is actually 40-42. It's the net correct for 99 percentile. What can be the static GK portion? What can be, I mean, Rishabh, GK is such a long thing, you can't ever say that what exactly they can ask you from there. No problem, sir. I'll take it for sure. Thanks to BYJU'S faculty. Thank you very much, Satyanshu. Sir, VRC and IIFT, it will be lengthy, still easy compared to CAT, right? Yes, Divyasri, even I feel so. It is sometimes lengthy, but easier than CAT, right? So, yes, Rishabh also agrees with me, but the RCs are damn lengthy. They might be lengthy, but actually are on easier side. Okay. Chali, I'll move ahead from here. Now, when I talk about the quantitative analysis, so I mean the quantitative aptitude analysis. So what has it been? As I told you, it has been from moderate to difficult level of difficulty. Arithmetic has been the area with highest number of questions with no change from 21 as well. Once again, you have highest number of questions from arithmetic. The second highest, you see that algebra along with geometry, they both have equal number of questions, whereas just one question from number system, but a good 4 number of questions from modern mathematics. So modern maths is one area which I feel that only CAT is an exam which is actually asking you very less number of questions on this. Otherwise, you will find questions on modern mathematics in Z, you will find IIFT, you will find them in NMAT, you will find them in SNAP, you will find them in Maharashtra CET as well. So this is an important area in the eyes of many other exams. But yes, number system somehow is not a favorite topic for many of them, with of course some exceptions. For example, last year Z suddenly asked you many questions on number system. Otherwise, in most of the exams, you would see that very less number of questions have been asked on number system. Okay, that's about quantitative ability. When I talk about verbal ability and reading comprehension, as you see, out of 35, 16 questions were there from RCs, which is good. I would say approximately 48% of the questions were there from RCs, right? 5 questions from grammar. That again is an area on which CAT does not ask you many questions. Then you have antonyms, synonyms, foreign words, vocabs, correct usage, spellings, idioms, correct word, root word. ये सारी वो चीजें हैं from which CAT is not asking you questions, but they do. So out of 35 questions, 16 are see, the remaining 19 questions as you see, they all are from the area which you do not study for CAT. So therefore you can say that you have to probably read them a lot now, because this is going to be an important area for you. For RCs, probably we have prepared throughout the year. This is something that we have to pay attention to now. And the level of difficulty also has been moderate. Okay. So I see you guys are talking about a few things. Let me see if I can pitch in for something important. Safe score for EWS, we will be talking about it, Ganesh. Okay, 110 marks in IFT, 45, 20, 45. Is it enough for converting IFT? Ankit, we will be talking about that. I am sure that this is going to helpful for you then. ठीक है, एक बार हम उसके बारे में बात करेंगे, आप देख लीजिएगा. If still it does not answer, then you ask your question again. Now, also, apart from that, I see that number of questions in RCs, they were, I mean, from which areas? There was a set of 5 questions on management theory last year, which was a difficult set. Then 2 sets with 8 questions were actually moderate level, God and morality and consumptions of resources. And a question about styles of communication was easy to moderate with 3 questions. So all in all, you would see it was on a moderate side. If you just figure out that one set of 5 questions, probably you could have done a good 7, 8 questions out of the remaining 11 questions, right? When I talk about DI and LR, so from data interpretation, we had 4 sets of 4 questions each. And as I told you before as well, that DI was slightly on the easier side with respect to LR. So 3 of them were actually from easy to moderate level. But one of them, which was from bar graphs, it was slightly on the moderate level. Okay. The set on pie charts and line graphs and stacked bar graphs, वो थोड़ा सा आसान साइड पे थे. बार ग्राफ वाला थोड़ा सा मॉडरेट लेवल पे था. बट व्हेन आई टॉक अबाउट लॉजिकल रीजनिंग बेस्ड सेट, गेम्स एंड टूर्नामेंट्स का मॉडरेट लेवल था. मॉडरेट टू डिफिकल्ट मैट्रिक्स एंड अरेंजमेंट, दिस वाज अगेन मॉडरेट. जो इजी आपको दिख रहे हैं, दे आर जस्ट सिंगलेट्स, राइट? 2 question singlets. These are again those areas which are not asked in CAT. So for IFT, once again, I would say that please focus upon these areas: blood relation, coding, decoding, assumptions, and then there are some other areas as well which are important. From IFT's perspective, they do ask you these questions. Okay. When I talk about general analysis, so of course 4 to 5 questions have been from static GK. Otherwise, most of the questions have been from the current GK. You know what is to be done. अगर current GK पे questions आपसे पूछ रहे हैं, आप भी जानते हैं इसका मतलब आपको क्या पढ़ना चाहिए. What can help you the lot. मेरे ख्याल से आपको समझ आ ही रहा होगा कि जो आपके न्यूज़पेपर्स वगैरह है वो देखते रहिए, न्यूज़ आर्टिकल्स which are there on media nowadays. So just keep watching them. What is going around you, just have a tab on it. So I think you will get to know about this as well. Okay. Now, when I talk about the cutoffs, as someone was asking about it, कि cutoffs का एक बार जिक्र कर लीजिए कि अगर मेरा इतना स्कोर है तो क्या मैं क्लियर कर पाऊंगा या नहीं. So let's talk about the IFT cutoffs. Previously, I would have told you that IFT's sectional cutoffs are actually not that high, right? They do not ask you, I mean, a very high cutoff as far as this is concerned, right? Sectional cutoff is concerned. I mean, the way it is there in many of the exams, जैसे ZET में होता है, आप सेक्शनल्स को ऐड करेंगे तो ओवरऑल कट ऑफ इट इज ऑलमोस्ट वेरी क्लियर नियर टू दैट. But in IFT, they are pretty on the lower side, right? Sectional cutoffs are generally on the lower side. So let's have a look at the cutoffs which have been there. So if I talk about the sectional cutoffs, right? So here I have the cutoff for 2020, 22, 21, 23 and 22, 24. So of course, this is the most recent one, and followed by this, and then followed by this. Now here you see that out of 35 questions, that means 105 marks, you have a cutoff of only 11 for general category, or I mean OBC category, whereas a cutoff of only 6, right, for SC, ST, PWD and the other categories. So 11 ka cutoff out of 105, that is approximately 10% only. You can see how low is that. In DILR, it is 30 questions, that means 90 marks, out of which the cutoff was around 14, which is once again pretty on the lower side and not as low as VRC, लेकिन काफी कम है. और अगर मैं बात कर रहा हूं QA की, तो 75 में से it is once again 8 marks, which is once again very close to 1/10 और जीए में भी where the total marks are 30, out of 30 it is 15% only, that is 4.5. The year before that things were not very different. As I told you, DILR last year suddenly was easy, तो इसलिए उसमें कट ऑफ हाई था. बट VARC was difficult, तो थोड़ा सा 11 की तरफ चला गया. बट ईयर बिफोर दैट VARC was slightly on the higher side because it was easy. ये थोड़ा सा लोअर साइड पे चला गया था, that was 13. This was almost the same, this was almost the same. In 2020-22 it was very easy paper, so you can see actually all cutoffs went a bit higher, right? वो इसीलिए था, पेपर सडनली बहुत आसान आ गया था. नाउ वी डोंट नो व्हाट इज गोइंग टू हैपन दिस ईयर. This year once again the paper might be very easy, it might be very difficult, we don't know what is going to happen. But yes, more or less this is going to be the structure, right, in the coming exam as well. I mean, आप ये मान के चलो, मेरे ख्याल से कट ऑफ would be somewhere around as that of 22-24 और 21-23. पिछले 2 साल में जैसा रहा है तकरीबन वैसा ही कट ऑफ आप मान के चलो, that next year is going to be there almost of the similar type. Okay. Now, in 22-24, when I talk about sectional cutoffs, as I just told you, out of 105, approximately 1/10 11, out of 75, approximately 1/10 8, 30 में से it is around 15%, और इसमें से भी approximately 15%. So in two of the sections they are approximately 15%. Overall आप देख रहे हैं, मतलब SC ST कैटेगरी और जो अलग कैटेगरी के स्टूडेंट्स हैं उनके लिए तो it is और भी लोअर साइड पे है. So they are generally on the lower side only. And finally, when I look at the call cutoffs, final call का जो cutoff आता है वो कितने पे आ रहा है? So I see for general category the cutoff was at 42.6 out of 300. So which is again pretty low. For the other categories, all the cutoffs are mentioned over here. Okay. तो काफी ही आपको दिख रहा होगा कि काफी नीचे की तरफ चला गया है कट ऑफ, यहां पे जो आपको दिख रहा होगा, राइट? सो दीज आर द कट ऑफ्स फॉर द अदर कैटेगरीज एज वेल, एज यू कैन सी on the screen. That's what is giving you the cutoffs of IIFT exam of 2022-24. As I said, you can prepare for them around these scores only. Just pay attention to these and you can prepare for them around these scores only. Okay. What about the selection criteria? Let us know about the selection criteria as well to understand that better. Okay. So what about additional preparation needed other than CAT? Obviously, I'll be talking about that in a little bit of time. ठीक है, वो भी हम कर लेंगे, अभी बात करेंगे उसके बारे में. ओके, एलोकेशन स्ट्रेटजी फॉर ईच सेक्शन, उसके बारे में भी ऋषभ बात करते हैं थोड़ी देर के बाद. ओके, नाउ द कॉल सिलेक्शन क्राइटेरिया, हाउ हैज इट बीन? चलिए अब उसको देख लेते हैं एक बार. व्हाट इज द कॉल सिलेक्शन क्राइटेरिया? So 73 is the weightage for your IIFT score. I mean, whatever score you would be getting in IIFT, 73% of your weightage would be given to that score, right? 73% weightage would be given to that score. Similarly, marks obtained in 10th, they would be given a 10% weightage. Marks obtained in 12th, they would be given a 10% weightage. Academic diversity, if you are an engineer, you will get 0 for that. I am sure many engineers would be watching it and they would be saying, what is this? But yes, this is what is true actually. Non-engineers would be getting 5 marks for it. Gender diversity, for being a female, you get 2 marks. The point is, the most important point here is, ठीक है, जो आपको ध्यान देना है वो ये, can you do anything about this now? No, you can't do anything about this because you have already appeared for 10th, you have got a certain score. Can you do anything about this now? No, because you have already appeared for it. Can you do anything about it now? Of course, no. Can you do about this now? Probably yes, but you would not like to do that. Okay, nowadays we have ways to do that, but of course you would not like it. So about none of these you can do anything about. This is already decided. इसमें आपका जितना स्कोर आना है, that's already decided. You have already fixed the score in all of these criterias. The only thing you can change is this. How much do you get in your IIFT exam? That is what is more important and that's what you have to pay attention to. यहां आपको किसी भी तरीके से आपका स्कोर इंक्रीज करना है, जैसे भी हो कि आप कर पाए, पक्का कीजिए, सारा ध्यान यहीं पे लगाइए, किसी तरह से मेरा स्कोर इंप्रूव होना चाहिए आईएफटी के अंदर, बिकॉज ऑल अदर थिंग्स आर देयर अबाउट विच आई कांट डू एनीथिंग, कुछ भी नहीं करना है मेरे को. सो इसीलिए पे more attention to this. So please pay attention to this part now. Okay. Victim of engineering, you can say probably AJ. Okay, considering IFT delaying so much in admit card, I think there won't be an exam for IFT and they would take directly by CAT score. Speculations are so. No, this would not happen. People just keep speculating. See, I mean, now it is being conducted by a government agency, and you would see that this generally, whenever these are conducted by government agencies, these problems do happen. I mean, if you look at CMAT last year, the same thing happened. If you look at CUET exam last year, the same thing happened. So this would happen with IFT as well. This keeps happening. ये होता ही है, ठीक है? That's a problem with that. Okay, so now I'll move ahead from that. So rating scores for the 10th standard examination. So probably right now you can calculate that how much are you going to get from your 10th score or 12th score or your academic diversity, gender diversity. You can count it straight away, right? और बताइएगा भी मुझे कि आपका क्या स्कोर आता है. Less than equal to 55 in 10th, you get 1 score out of 10. Greater than 55, less than equal to 60, you get 2. Greater than 60, less than equal to 70, you get 3. I will get 3. Actually मेरा score इसके बीच में है 10th का. So you might get 5, you might get 8. Anyone who is getting more than 90% in 10, you will get 10 marks out of 10 marks. So of course you have pretty low scores in your 10th. You can see how much down you can go only because of that. Okay, मतलब काफी फर्क पड़ जाता है उससे. Similarly, when I talk about the 12th exam, so once again, these are the scores with respect to your weightages here. So once again, I would be scoring 3 here. I'm a non-engineer, I might get 2 marks for that. I'm a male, I would be getting 0 marks for that. So out of these 27 marks, actually my score is only 11. Why 11? Because I got 3 marks in 10th, 3 marks in 12th, 5 marks of being a non-engineer. तो मेरे score 11 बनता है. तो आपका जो भी स्कोर बनता होगा, आई एम श्योर देयर वुड बी सम पीपल हियर जिनका स्कोर शायद 27 भी बनता हो. दैट्स क्वाइट पॉसिबल, राइट? ये हो सकता है. ओके, लाइकली टू पोस्टपोन, आई डोंट थिंक सो. हो सकता है वैसे तो एंड मोमेंट पे कुछ हो जाए तो. आई एग्री. आई मीन लास्ट ईयर द काइंड ऑफ एग्जाम वाज कंडक्टेड कार्तिके, दैट वाज आल्सो प्रेटी बैड. Score above 100 for crossing 95. Your engineer score be score how much should we score to guarantee a call? Okay. देखिए वो तो म्यूजिक को डिपेंड करेगा पेपर के डिफिकल्टी लेवल पे. आई वुड नॉट बी एबल टू से मच अबाउट इट. Cheating and all such exams are very common in NTA conducted. My friend knew paper of 80 marks even before starting last year. I can't say anything about it. Okay, so Ganesh Singh got 10, Mandeep has got 8. 108 is 97 percentile. Okay. 10 5 said, did you get call for IFT in any year? Mayank, yes, I have received it previously many times. Khodi Das got it when I was actually looking for IFT, tab आई भी थी. How much in CAT 2000? Acha, yes, 25, 27. Indian has got 27. Mandeep Lohan has got 25. Okay, 16, 25. So see, यहाँ पे तो जिन लोगों का स्कोर कम आ रहा होगा, you can't do anything about it. वो तो कम आएगा तो आएगा, completely out of your hands. उसमें से तो आप कोई भी चीज अब चेंज नहीं कर सकते. जितना स्कोर आ गया है, आ गया है. You can't do much about it now. Okay. Now, the call selection criteria, rating score, work experience पे कितना आएगा, right? Score from the table below into the panel score. The panel will be constituted by IIFT. So, what is that panel score? It will be decided by them. Okay. So, the panel score, as he says, it ranges from 0 to 1. So, basically, they would be looking at the quality of your work experience. According to that quality of work experience, the number of months would be multiplied by that. Here, you would see you get maximum marks. Actually, according to your work experience, you get maximum marks according to your work experience, greater than 24 and less than equal to 36. तो वर्क एक्सपीरियंस के हिसाब से आपको सबसे ज्यादा मार्क्स तब मिलते हैं इफ योर वर्क एक्सपीरियंस इज बिटवीन 24 एंड 36. उसके ऊपर वो डिक्रीज होने लगता है, उसके नीचे भी डिक्रीज होने लगता है. आई वुड बी इन द कैटेगरी ऑफ जीरो हियर. इन विच कैटेगरी यू आर, दैट वुड डिपेंड अपॉन यू अगेन. तो वो ऐसा मैंने बताया कि जो ये पैनल स्कोर है, दिस वुड डिपेंड अपॉन द क्वालिटी ऑफ वर्क एक्सपीरियंस, व्हाट एग्जैक्टली यू वर डूइंग. ठीक है. एवरी ईयर IIFT रिलीज एडमिट कार्ड बिफोर 3-4 days. नहीं, उससे ज्यादा पहले आ जाता है शुभम. इस बार शायद कुछ ज्यादा लेट है. कार्तिकेय हैज गॉट 21. दैट्स नॉट ए बैड स्कोर. आई गॉट 89.6 इन 12th. ऋषभ, अरे यार मिस कर दिया, गड़बड़ हो गई है ना. कुछ तो मार्क्स, 2 मार्क्स तो रह ही गए उसकी वजह से डेफिनेटली. ओके जी, सो आई विल मूव अहेड फ्रॉम हियर. यहां से आगे बढ़ जाते हैं. नाउ द फाइनल स्कोर ऑफ वर्क एक्सपीरियंस स्कोर बेस्ड ऑन नंबर ऑफ इयर्स इनटू स्कोर गिवन बाय फैकल्टी इन इंटरव्यू पैनल. एज आई टोल्ड यू कि वो इस बात पे डिपेंड करेगा. वो ये देखना चाहते हैं कि आपके पास जो है किस तरह का वर्क एक्सपीरियंस है. ओके. Now, finally, we will talk about what is to be done in these last 7 days to crack IFT, and after that, I'll be discussing some questions as well with you. So, first of all, पहले इसकी तरफ हम लोग ध्यान देते हैं एक बार. Okay? So, what exactly is here? चलिए, 7 days to crack IFT. What is to be done for VARC preparation? The first thing, read, read, and read. Of course, out of those 35 questions of VRC, you have 16 questions directly from RCs. Moreover, you might have questions from para completion, para jumbles, odd one out. These are all actually reading based. Plus, reading is not only required for doing questions which are based upon reading, but actually, reading is also important from one more perspective, and that is where you actually learn new words or you learn to use grammar. You must have seen many a times many of the grammar rules you don't know actually, but somehow when you are reading a statement, you get to know there is something wrong with that statement, right? This is wrong. I can't say exactly what is wrong, but I know there is something wrong. That this kind of experience actually comes from reading. So therefore, we always emphasis on this one thing, that please read, read, read. जितना हो सके पढ़ते रहिए, पढ़ते रहिए, पढ़ते रहिए. Not only here, it is going to help you later as well in many other places. बहुत सारी जगह पे भी आपके लिए ये काम करने वाला है. ओके, सो काफी लोग कुछ कह रहे हैं. लेट मी जस्ट सी दैट एज वेल कि क्या क्या आप लोग कह रहे हैं. एज एनी प्रेफरेंस गिवन टू रिजर्व कैटेगरी. म्यूजिक कोर मैंने शुरू में ही बताया था कि रिजर्व कैटेगरी के लिए कुछ अलग से कट ऑफ्स होती हैं. यहां पे कोई प्रेफरेंस नहीं है इसके अंदर. ओके, so best of 4 is above 90%, but taking all is 89.6. You can't do anything about it. Score 32. अच्छा, कुछ और कह रहे हैं आप. It wasn't so difficult. आपस में बातें कर रहे हैं. अच्छा, 42 will be around 90 percentiles. फॉरेन वर्ड्स का क्या करें? पढ़ने पड़ेंगे, याद करने पड़ेंगे डेफिनेटली. ओके ओके ओके, चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं यहां से. द सेकेंड थिंग नाउ दैट यू कैन डू, न्यूज़पेपर्स, एडिटोरियल्स, नॉवेल्स एटसेट्रा शुड बी योर गो टू रिसोर्सेज टू स्ट्रेंथन इंग्लिश. एज आई टोल्ड यू कि एक तो आरसी इंप्रूव होता है, योर वोकैब वुड बी इंप्रूव्ड, योर ग्रामर वुड बी इंप्रूव्ड. रादर इफ आई टॉक अबाउट IFT here, it is going to be important for your general awareness as well, isn't it? Most of the questions in your general awareness section are actually going to be from your current GK. Of course, by reading these newspapers and all, this is going to be helpful for you if you are reading from there, right? So from that perspective as well, मेरे ख्याल से आपको ये देखना चाहिए कि अच्छा ठीक है, मुझे ये चीजें पढ़नी है. That not only it is improving my VA, actually it is also going to improve your GK as well, along with the grammar and vocab that is there. That's also going to be improved by this. So therefore, I am saying that please work on these things. Third, go through Wren and Martin. Of course, grammar basics ke liye to there cannot be a book better than that. In these 7 days, of course, you can do that. As I said before as well, because you have not studied much of grammar, probably because before this, because CAT did not ask you a lot of grammar. So probably this is the time to read Wren Martin and go through the grammar basics, because grammar के लिए तो सबसे अच्छा option आपके पास यही है. And finally, as we have always been focusing upon this word, writing mocks is not going to help you. What is going to help you is analysis of your mistake, right? What's your strength? What's your weakness? What strategy are you following? How is it going to help you or not? So that all is to be taken care of. So analyze your mistakes and try not to repeat them. This is the high time that you understand these things, and just understand that exam time पे हम लोगों को ये गलतियां नहीं करनी है. On all these things you have to pay attention to. Okay, sir, what is the actual cutoff? I heard it's around 145 marks. Kavya, I just gave you the actual cutoff a few moments back, right? Just multiply that by 3. That was in terms of number of questions. तो उसको आप 3 से multiply करेंगे तो you'll get to know about it. Okay. Sankirtana, that Z 2023, I just took a session on that a few days back. That was about 30-day strategy, that what should you be doing. You will find it on our YT channel itself. Just find it there. थोड़े ही दिन पहले मैंने एक सेशन उस पे लिया है, आपको मिल जाएगा वहां पे ढूंढेंगे तो. सो देयर आई एक्चुअली टॉक्ड अबाउट दिस ओनली कि जो लास्ट के दिन बचे हुए हैं, what should you be doing in these coming days now. That's what I all discussed there. Okay. Now, what all is to be done for QA preparation? First of all, Mathematics books of 9th and 10th standard to brush up the fundamentals. Let me tell you, IFT does not ask you questions on very high concepts. So जो भी questions आपसे पूछे जाएंगे, arithmetic, algebra, geometry, etc., they all would be up to 10th class NCERT. In these 7 days, you can do one thing. At least you can brush up the formulas once or the fundamentals once if you have not gone through them. So just have a quick look at all of them. Just sit one day. Probably you can read all 9th book in a single day, all 10th book in a single day. I'm not saying you have to do them question by question, but at least you can go through all the concepts once. उनको एक बार थोड़ा थोड़ा पढ़ के आपको आइडिया मिल जाएगा कि चलो ठीक है उसके बारे में हम लोग पढ़ लेते हैं. That can be done in these days. Of course, there is one more thing that you guys must do, that is go through the previous year papers of IIFT. As I told you, IIFT के जो questions होते हैं quantitative ability के, they are slightly of the different type with respect to the other exam. A lot of stories would be involved in the questions. Mostly the questions would be pretty lengthy, right? So you have to read the complete story to know what is the question asking. Though concept wise they would be asking you the same thing that CAT or ZAT are asking you, but थोड़ा सा लंबे questions आपसे वहां पे पूछते हैं, right? Second thing, try to get a good accuracy, because there is a negative marking. You don't have theta questions as well. So therefore, accuracy is very important point over here. You guys have to pay attention to that. And why I'm saying 90 to 100% accuracy, because probably when I talk about VARC, you can't be sure of that you would be able to have that 90 to 100% accuracy. When you talk about general awareness, once again it will be difficult for you to have such a high accuracy. Quant is an area where you can actually have a very good accuracy, right? So therefore, try your best to get a good accuracy in quant. बाकी एरियाज में तो कम होनी ही है, शायद मेरे हाथ में ना रहे, यहां पे जरूर कोशिश कीजिएगा कि वो हो. सर आईएफटी मॉक दे के आया हूं, पेपर से डर लगने लग गया. देखो कोई भी एग्जाम दे दो यार, सबसे डर ही लगता है. वाई शुड नॉट यू नॉट गिव दी एग्जाम यार, करना ही चाहिए आपको. वोकैब का कुछ अच्छा सोर्स बता दीजिए. इंडियन, मेरे ख्याल से वी हैव टेकन सेशंस ऑन दैट, और वी आर गोइंग टू टेक सेशंस ऑन दैट. आप वो ध्यान दीजिएगा बस उस पे. आई एम श्योर समवेयर वी वुड हैव टॉक्ड अबाउट इट. कोई ना कोई वर्बल फैकल्टी ने इसके बारे में बात की होगी. बाय द वे, थैंक यू गाइस फॉर क्लैरिफाइंग हाउ मच इज द. अच्छा, ये बाकियों से आप पूछ रहे हैं. ओके, कहाँ मिलेंगे सर PYPQs? यू कैन फाइंड इट ऑन इंटरनेट वेरी इजीली इंडियन, बिकॉज एक्चुअली IIFT आई मीन रिलीज दीज पेपर्स आफ्टर द एग्जाम. सो आपको ऑथेंटिक पेपर्स इंटरनेट पे मिल जाएंगे. Will you appear for IIFT 2023 music core? Yes, of course I would. सर कैलकुलेशन इंटेंसिव है बहुत. हाउ टू डील विद दैट? लीव देम सिद्धांत यार. जहां आपको ज्यादा कैलकुलेशन इंटेंसिव दिखाई दे, एक्चुअली IIFT इज एन एग्जाम इन विच choosing the questions is very important. क्या करना है क्या नहीं, because they actually give some of the questions very difficult. They would be giving you some of the questions very easy. So always keep that in mind. Then in IIFT it is very important to check which question is to be done and which is not to be done, because mostly their DI section to is very lengthy many a times, right? Matlab they are so lengthy that sometimes you can do one set or complete paper. They take exactly the same time. So you have to pay attention to that part. I did not give a sincere shot. अच्छा सर QA में 100% accuracy है, but DILR में it might go slightly below. That's not a problem. It can be done. Kartikeya will be taking sessions for that. What is the safe score for SC category student for IIFT Delhi? Sanskari Insan, we just talked about it in the initial part of the session. Later on, when you watch the recorded video, you will find it out there. Okay. Chaliye, I'll move ahead from there. Next, focus on arithmetic. I have already told you that last year out of 25 questions, 8 to 9 questions were from arithmetic. So that means when 8 to 9 questions, and the cutoff was somewhere around, I think 11, 12. So of course you can understand that 8 to 9 questions, how important are these. So therefore focus on arithmetic clearly, that has to be there, and practice and revise the formulas. So this is going to be important, especially in geometry, right? These theorems and formulas, they are going to help you a lot in geometry and algebra. So geometry and algebra questions can be done very fast, because why do I say that go through 9th and 10th mathematics books? Because they have given a lot of theorems as well in terms of questions. So उनसे फायदा ये हो जाता हम लोगों को सीधा सीधा, that going through those theorems, it becomes easy for us to just remind ourselves during the exam time. कई बार वो डायरेक्ट फॉर्मूला बेस्ड, डायरेक्ट थ्योरम बेस्ड क्वेश्चन आ गया, राइट? So while looking at the book, I saw कि वो theorem prove करने के लिए कह रहा था, but directly I saw that in a question, so I can immediately do it very fast. So that way it is going to help you. So just go through those books. This is going to happen to you. I mean, this is going to help you a lot. अपीयर कर रहे हैं मतलब यार वन नहीं नहीं कार्तिक हम तो करते भी नहीं है सारा पहली बात, और अगर करूंगा तो भी नहीं आएगी यार वन, बिकॉज जीए में आई एम ऑलमोस्ट जीरो, वीए में आई एम ऑलमोस्ट जीरो, सो एनीवेज दैट्स नॉट गोइंग टू हेल्प. It's better to attempt LR than DI. Rishabh, last year you can say DI was more easy. So therefore, of course, better was DI than LR. But what is going to happen next year, you never know. Generally, DI has been on the difficult side. So always check that carefully. Okay. Sir, I cannot find calculator in mocks and calculator available in IIFT exam. I don't think, Shrey, that it will be available in IIFT. As far as I remember, IIFT does not provide you on-screen calculator. What would be an ideal raw score for 99 percentile in the exam? Ankit, probably I would not be very sure of that currently. I think it might range somewhere in the range of 150, 160 if I'm not wrong. It might go slightly below that as well. That's my opinion. Okay. Now, when I talk about DILR preparation, what is to be done? Practice 20 to 30 questions daily while managing your time effectively. Why? Because now you have a lot of singlets as well. You have to do questions based upon blood relations. You have to do questions based upon coding. And they have been asking questions on input output as well. They have asked questions on syllogism as well. So especially try these areas which you have not done before, because CAT has not asked questions on those. So now is the time to pay some attention on these areas. These are going to be important for you guys. Okay. Second thing, try solving 1 to 2 sets of DILR to get a groove of the exam. I mean, these are the singlets that I'm talking about. Also try to set some sets, because if you talk about the LR sets that have appeared last year, I remember two of the sets were pretty easy, but the other two was actually on the difficult side, right? So spend some time on solving sets and get an idea which sets are to be done, which sets are not to be done, and go through the previous year papers of IIFT. That's going to give you the real idea what kind of questions do they give you, how many of them are easy. When I say easy from IIFT standard, what does that mean? When I say difficult from this standard, what does that mean? What is difficult for IIFT might not be difficult for CAT, right? They are two different exams. तो आपको वह चेक करना पड़ेगा, अच्छा कितना आसान है कितना मुश्किल है. Check that. Ultimately, you have 110 questions in IIFT, right? Whereas in CAT, you have just 66 questions. So there is a lot of difference between the two. You have to work according to that, though the time taken for both of them is same, which is 2 hours, right? Accuracy, of course, is the key here as well. As I told you, QA and DILR, these are the two areas where actually you can work on your accuracy, because you know actually whether you are getting the right answer or wrong. So therefore, this is going to be important for you. Pay attention to this part as well. Okay. So once again, I would take up some questions. Will solving CAT previous year papers of 2000 help in DA and QA side? Justin, I would not say much in case of IIFT. It will be better that in these coming days, try to focus more on IIFT questions or IIFT papers rather than CAT papers. I think that will help you more. GK कैसे करें कार्तिक? I'm just going to talk about it. Syllogism is the toughest. Honestly speaking, Rishabh, I feel syllogism is the easiest, right? Just do 20 questions on syllogism and I'm sure you would start feeling that your accuracy would be highest in syllogism. One thing I have observed is that there is calculator available only for CAT. Why is not there for any other exams? Raj Krishna, I don't know why others are not providing it, but I think yes, that's true. Apart from CAT, no one else provides a calculator. Apart from arithmetic section, what are the important chapters for Quant, Sanskari Insan? So I have told about two more things. Algebra and geometry, these are the two major areas from which questions have appeared in IIFT apart from arithmetic. Which section should we start with in the exam? What would be the ideal approach, Indian? It would depend upon your strength or weakness. What area is there in which you are strong? I would generally say start with that, because after doing some questions, you get that confidence that, okay, I have already done something. Even if I'm not able to do many more questions, still, I have already done 4 or 5 questions. So that's enough. So that confidence works for you. How many questions should I attempt to get a rough idea? Shreyasi, that's completely dependent upon the paper. As I given you the idea in the beginning, that in the last 2 years, paper was slightly on the difficult side. The year before that, it was so easy that cutoff was approximately 50% higher than that of last 2 years. So therefore, it is going to be important to check. I mean, what is the difficulty level? Better is do your best, whatever it is. As for now, after previous year papers is enough. Prerna, I think if you are able to do all the previous year papers at this stage, I think that is going to be enough. except for GK because that keeps changing. Other things are almost the same, the flavor remains the same. So for GK, read newspapers, especially the Hindu, to brush up the daily current affairs, and listen to the English news channels as well, because from there actually you get a lot of important information. As I told you, that current affairs are actually going to make up approximately 70 to 75% of your general awareness section, right? 70-75% आपसे करंट अफेयर्स पूछेगा. कहां से मिलेंगे करंट अफेयर्स? ईदर फ्रॉम द न्यूज़पेपर्स और फ्रॉम द न्यूज चैनल्स, बिकॉज ऑफ कोर्स दे वुड नॉट बी टॉकिंग अबाउट स्टैटिक जीके एट दिस. ठीक है, वहां पे अब आपको ये तो नहीं बताएंगे कि हाँ ठीक है हड़प्पा के टाइम पे क्या हो रहा था, या वर्ल्ड वॉर टू में क्या हुआ था, या फिर 1971 वॉर में क्या हुआ था, पार्टीशन के टाइम पे क्या हुआ था. दोज थिंग्स वुड नॉट बी डिस्कस देयर. So of course all current affairs you can probably find out in these two areas. So therefore just go through these two things and stay updated with the latest current events. As I just told you, they have the major portion in your general awareness. So therefore look at them very carefully. Okay, we'll be doing some questions now. So what are your questions first of all? Then we'll take up some questions from Quant to end this session. How many questions? Okay, I have already answered it. Sir, please tell your strategy for taking IFT music, or that does not make any difference to you, because my job is to just do quant and LRDI. Of course, for a student, that should not be the strategy. Preparation strategy for these 5 days, please. So, Kotesh Babu, this is all that I am discussing. This is only for the last 5 days. That's what I am saying that you have to do. अभी न्यूज देख के क्या फायदा? शुभम, ये बात तो ठीक है वैसे आपकी. सो आई थिंक इट इज बेटर टू गो थ्रू द न्यूज पेपर्स एंड ऑल, दैट माइट बी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर यू, राइट? बिकॉज अभी तो पेपर सेट हो चुका होगा मेरे ख्याल से, तो अभी न्यूज देख के कुछ फायदा नहीं मिलेगा. बट यस, एटलीस्ट यू कैन गो थ्रू द न्यूज पेपर्स और सम मीडिया सोर्सेस विच आर देयर ऑन इंटरनेट. ओके, यस यस कार्तिकेय, यू, आई गेट योर पॉइंट. नहीं, 7 दिन में हिंदू पढ़ के तो कुछ होगा, बिकॉज हिंदू में मेरे को बहुत सारी इंफॉर्मेशन पुरानी भी मिलती रहती है. सो प्लीज रीड दैट. कितने टाइम तक के सीए आते हैं नॉर्मली? प्रेरणा, करंट अफेयर जनरली मींस, आई मीन जो लास्ट 2-2.5 साल तक की जो इंफॉर्मेशन होती है उसको आप करंट अफेयर्स में गिन सकते हैं. Okay, yes, Rishabh is correct, because they would be asking you questions on logos, icons of companies, airline and all, because it is for foreign trade, right? MBA in foreign trade. So they would be focusing on, I mean, these foreign trade organizations as well. So on NATO or WTO, SAFTA, BAFTA. So just read about all these things, probably can be important for you. यूपीएससी एसएससी के चैनल से करंट अफेयर्स कवर करें. करंट अफेयर्स वहां से कवर कर सकते हो गणेश, बट ध्यान रखिएगा इट शुड बी बिजनेस स्पेसिफिक, इट विल बी मोर इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर यू. हाउ कैन आई डिफेंड क्वांट सेक्शन एज इट इज माय वीकनेस? श्रेय मिश्रा, just focus upon clearing the cutoff, as I've already told you that their overall sectional cutoffs are pretty low. Try to do 4 or 5 questions in quant, that will clear the cutoff. After that you can increase your score in the other areas. Where can we get authentic mocks par with the difficulty level? Indian, of course, I would say that you'll find it at BYJU'S Exam Prep, but of course, you can get some research on internet and you'll find out about it. Okay, so let's start doing some questions now. Here is the first question from IIFT last year. Let me see how many of you can answer this question. So try to answer it, guys. Let's do some questions now. Yes, what is your answer for this question? So question from actual IIFT, just to give you an idea what kind of questions do they ask you. Rishabh got C, Music Core got A, Rishabh got C. Satyanshu got C, Maitre got A. Shubham has got C. Let's see what is the answer for this question. Okay. Rahul takes 4 days to finish one third of a job. That means Rahul can do the job in 12 days. One third अगर कर रहा है तो Sohan can in 3 days can do 1/6 of the job. That means he can complete the job in 18 days. And Ram takes 5 days to finish half the job. That means in total he takes 10 days. So first of all, I'll take the LCM of these numbers. So LCM of 12 and 18 is 36. 36 and 10 is 180. So the LCM is 180 units, which means Rahul can make 15 units in a day, Sohan can make 10 in a day, and Ram can make 18 in a day. All three of them together work for 3 days. So 15 plus 10 plus 18, that is 25 plus 18, 43 into 3. So 129 units they have already made. After which Rahul and Ram leave the job. Rahul and Ram are leaving. So now only Sohan is working. So he's making 10 every day. How many units are left? 180 minus 29, that is 51. How long will it take for Sohan to complete the remaining one? He is doing 10 units every day. He has to make 51. So of course, he will take 5.1 days more. So C option is the correct answer. I hope you'll get an idea what kind of questions does IFT ask you. Of course, this is one of the easier ones. They do ask you difficult as well. मैंने एक आसान सा question लिया है, मुश्किल questions भी पूछते हैं. I would be just discussing the questions just to give you an idea about the kind of questions IFT ask you. Okay. So the answer for this question is option C, which is 5.1 days. Let's have a look at question number 2 now. So try to answer this question as well. And this is the question that was asked this year in second slot of CAT. Exactly same question with the same answer. Sir, calculations are easier, but size are unnecessarily wrong. That's very common, Rishabh. As I said, कि जैसे इसी क्वेश्चन में आप देखिए जो सामने है हमारे, he will give you a complete story, whereas cat would straight away say there is a triangle and this happens, that happens, and they would ask you the question. So Rishabh got root 7, high C, music core has got B, root 6. Rishabh got 3, root 3 by 2. Satyansh Kumar has got C, okay. Chaliye, I think we should start doing it. Now, for maintaining social distancing due to COVID situation, Rohan, Sohan and Rahul are sitting equal distantly at a distance of 3 meters in a rectangular formation. So Rohan is here, Sohan is here and Rahul is here, and they have a distance of 3 meters between them, right? It's an equilateral triangle with side 3. Priya came and sat in between Sohan and Rahul. So between these two people, Priya sat. such that the distance between Priya and Sohan is half the distance between Rahul and Priya. So Priya must be somewhere here, such that the distance between Sohan and Priya is 1 and Priya and Rahul is 2, right? This is what it is. The question is, what will be the distance between Priya and Rohan? So we have to find out this length. If you guys remember, it's a question which was asked in CAT 2022 slot 2 this year. They just said there is a triangle ABC, equilateral triangle with each side as 3. D is a point on BC such that BD is to DC is 1 is to 2. Find the length of AD. ऐसे इन्होंने थोड़ी सी कहानी बना दी. So there are two ways of doing it. Because it's an equilateral triangle, we already know this angle is 60 and you can use cosine rule here. That is cos 60 is equal to, इसकी लेंथ अगर मैं x मान लूं, it is 3 square plus 1 square minus x square अपॉन 2 into 3 into 1. इसको सॉल्व करोगे तो आपके पास √7 आंसर आ जाएगा, बिकॉज cos 60 वी ऑल नो इज इक्वल टू √3/2. एक तो उसके तरीके से आंसर निकाल सकते हैं. दैट्स वन वे ऑफ डूइंग इट. सॉरी, cos 60 is 1/2, राइट. दूसरा तरीका ये भी है दैट यू कैन ड्रॉप अ परपेंडिकुलर फ्रॉम हियर. दिस परपेंडिकुलर विल आल्सो डिवाइड द लाइन इनटू 2 इक्वल पार्ट्स. तो ये वाली लेंथ आपकी 0.5 हो जाएगी, राइट. एंड लेंथ ऑफ दिस इज गिवन बाय √3a/2. So 3√3/2. So what is the length of this side? Using Pythagoras theorem, you can say 3√3/2 का square minus 0.5 का square और उसका square root. By that also you can get the length of that line as √7. तो दोनों में से कोई भी यूज करेंगे, दोनों के थ्रू आपको आंसर मिल जाएगा. The answer for this question is √7. मयंक, सिलोजिज्म एक्चुअली एक टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चन होता है, राइट. सो सिलोजिज्म में बेसिकली वो बोलते हैं ऑल A are B, all B are C, but all, so you have to find out all C are A or not, all A are, some A are C or not. Those kind of questions are generally a syllogism, you can call them. Okay, I hope you got the idea. That was question number 2 that appeared in IIFT last year. So now we'll talk about another question. Question number 3 is here on your screen. Let's see how many of you answered this correctly. What is your answer for this question as well? All these questions are actually on arithmetic base. These all are based upon arithmetic. So what is the answer for question number 3 now? Kotesh Babu has got 32 as the answer. Satyansh Kumar has got the answer as C. Okay. Which is again 32%. Okay, I think we can start doing it now. It's a question of faulty balances. I have a method of doing these questions. What do? I just write SP by CP, right? If it's a case of profit, I write the larger value in numerator, smaller in denominator. If it is loss case, I write the smaller value in numerator, larger in denominator, and that way as I keep working, it makes my job easy. So Rishi, Shubham, Ayushi, Sai Pradeep, they all have given the answer as 32. Let's see. A shopkeeper marks up the price of tur dal by 20%. That means 100 rupees articles he has marked as 120. So that means it's a case of profit. I would write 120 by 100. Basically, any two numbers where one is 20% more than the other. 100, 120 mat socho. Gives a discount of 10% to the customer. That means a 100 rupee article is giving in 90. That's again a case of loss for him. Just by discount, there is a loss. Loss means 90 in the numerator, 100 in the denominator. He also tricks 100 grams to his dealer and to customer while buying or selling 1 kg. That means to the customer, while selling 1000 grams, he tricks by 100 grams. That means he gives 900 grams. So he gets a profit. Profit means 1000 by 900. But from the dealer when he's purchasing, while purchasing 1000 grams, he tricks him as well. That means he takes 100 grams extra from him. There again he has a profit. So larger in the numerator, smaller in the denominator. Okay, that's it. Your job is done. 100 is cancelled out with this 0 and this 0. 100 is cancelled out with these two zeros. 1 0 is cancelled out with 1 0. 1 0 is cancelled out with 1 0. Another 0 is cancelled out with another 0. So I have 9 cancelled out with this 9. So I have 12 into 11, that is 132 divided by 100, and this 132 by 100 tells me there is 32% profit. On 100 rupee article, we have a 32% profit, and that is the correct answer. I mean, I find this approach pretty easy, that look at all the situations that are happening, all the conditions. If in a condition you have a profit, write the larger number in numerator, smaller in denominator. If you have a loss, write the smaller in numerator, larger in denominator, and just keep multiplying them. This will give you the right answer here. Okay. Indian had also got C. Rishi Verma says my expected CAT percentile is 97.5. Are baapre. So not this session for that. Rishi probably would not be able to talk about that. So answer for this question number 3 is 32%, right? And we'll move on to the next question now. That is question number 4. Let me see how many of you answer this correctly. This is again a question from IIFT 2022-24. Yes, Kotesh, thank you. You like the approach. I'm sure it is going to help you a lot. If all of you like the approach, please do press the like button as well. Let me see how many of you answered this correctly now. Indian has got the answer as D. Kotesh Babu has got the answer as 2.2 or 2.4. Okay. Okay, Rishabh has got 2.4. I'll give you a direct shortcut for this question. Actually, it comes from a similarity of triangles. So it says two towers are 10 meters apart. One is 4 meters high and the other one is 6 meters high. So this is 6 meters, this is 4 meters, right? And they are 10 meters apart. The question is what will be the height of the point of intersection of line joining the top of each tower to the bottom of opposite tower. So this point to this point and this point to this point. This question has been asked in many exams. The question is asking you what is the height of this particular point. There is a direct shortcut for this, that is 4 into 6 upon 4 plus 6. It does not make a difference what is the distance between these two towers. Whatever it is, the answer is going to be this 4 into 6 upon 4 plus 6, which is 2.4 meters. So the answer for this particular question is going to be D. Of course, you can do it by similar triangles. You can use similarity here, right? So this angle is already given to you as 90 here. This angle would also be equal to 90. Okay, and this angle, let's say this is equal to theta. So this angle here, this is equal to theta. Here 90 है, यहाँ पे तो ये भी 90 ही बन जाएगा, right? Let's say this angle is also equal to alpha. Now the point is, when I talk about this triangle with angle theta, this is actually a triangle which is similar to triangle DEC. I mean ABC and DEC, they are similar because they both have theta here and they both have 90 here. You can use similarity. Similarly, in the other triangles as well, this triangle and the smaller triangle, there also you can use similarity. Using similarity in both of these two, you can get the answer as 4 into 6 by 4 plus 6. Just keep this as a shortcut with you. Whatever is the distance between the two towers, the answer is product of their heights divided by the sum of their heights. That is the final answer for this question. So the answer is 2.4 meters. बहुत सारे एग्जाम्स में आता है, so it is better to keep this formula with you always. Okay. So that was all the questions, guys, for today. So in the coming days now, before IFT, we are having these more sessions tomorrow, day after tomorrow, then 15th and 16th, because 18th is your exam. So below before 18th, so now on these 4 days we are having these sessions. So just join us every day at 7 p.m. On all these days we'll be discussing a lot many things, and I'm sure it is going to be pretty useful for you. एक revision हो जाएगा FT से पहले, आते रहिएगा 7 बजे. Do not forget to join us on the 18th of December. I would be there with you for this IIFT analysis, of course, right? Because I myself is writing the exam. So I would also be there with you guys for the first impression, right? And the detailed analysis. And not only that, we do discuss a lot of questions as well. क्योंकि हम खुद लिख के आते हैं तो बहुत सारे क्वेश्चन हम लोग वही डिस्कस करके आपको बता देते हैं दैट ओके इन सारे क्वेश्चंस के आंसर यू विल गेट एन आइडिया एट दैट टाइम इटसेल्फ दैट व्हाट इज गोइंग टू बी योर स्कोर. ओके, we are also there on all these media handles. You can find us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Telegram, and Play Store as well, guys. That's all from my side. Thank you very much. A very good night to all of you. I hope this was a nice session for you. I hope you understood all the things, and I hope this is going to be a little informative and useful informative, rather, I would say. So, thank you very much, Kotesh. Thank you, Goridas. Thank you, Raj Krishna. We need more quant sessions. Raj Krishna, we will try. If we can bring more, we will definitely do that. Okay. So thank you, Indian. Thank you, Satyanshu. हाँ आते रहिएगा जरूर. Okay. That's all, guys, from my side. Thank you very much. Have a good day now. Good night. Bye bye. Bye bye. Thank you, Kuzipallil. Thank you.